The discovery that changed everything, the silent universe. For as long as humanity has looked at the night sky, one question has haunted us: are we alone? For centuries we searched for answers in myths, in philosophy, and in science. The stars became symbols of mystery, yet always silent, distant fires offering no reply. But that silence may have just been broken. In the infinite depths of space, where light travels for billions of years and silence stretches like eternity, a discovery has emerged that forces us to rethink everything: our origins, our place in the cosmos, and the possibility that we may not be the only intelligent species in existence. At the heart of this revelation is a machine unlike any ever built: the James Webb Space Telescope. A masterpiece of engineering, a time machine of glass and gold, capable of peering across 13 billion years of cosmic history. It was designed to study the earliest galaxies, the birth of stars, and the chemistry of alien worlds. Yet what it has uncovered has shaken science to its core. A neighbor in the dark web's gaze turned toward Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to our Sun, just 4.2 light-years away. Orbiting this faint red dwarf is a rocky world, Proxima b, long considered a candidate for habitability. Roughly the size of Earth and orbiting in the so-called habitable zone, it seemed promising. Astronomers had hoped Webb would analyze its atmosphere, searching for water vapor or carbon dioxide. A routine investigation. Nothing more. But what Webb found was anything but routine. The first anomalies. As Webb gathered light from Proxima b's night side, astronomers noticed strange patterns. At first, they looked like faint flickers. Perhaps instrument noise. Perhaps a reflection of the star. But as the data streamed in, the patterns became undeniable. These were not random flashes. They were organized. Repeating. Structured. The lights appeared in clusters and grids, brightening and dimming with a rhythm eerily reminiscent of artificial power systems on Earth. Not chaotic like volcanic eruptions or lightning storms, but ordered, patterned, purposeful. The first thought was error. Maybe gravitational lensing, maybe solar interference. Teams across the globe rushed to test the data. But every alternative collapsed under scrutiny. The conclusion no one dared to say aloud became inescapable: these were not natural. A chemical signature. The shock deepened when Webb's infrared spectrometers revealed the presence of chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, in the planet's atmosphere. On Earth, CFCs are not natural. They are synthetic chemicals, produced through industry and technology. If true, this was not just a planet with unusual lights. It was a planet with technology. For the first time in human history, we may have seen the fingerprints of an alien civilization. Patterns in the silence, but there was more. As radio observatories on Earth and in orbit re-examined the region, faint electromagnetic signals were detected, low-energy pulses, structured, repeating, carrying a mathematical elegance. Not language as we know it. Not static or noise. But patterns, too deliberate to be chance. Like coded information, designed not to be heard, but to be interpreted. Some researchers believe it could be the simplest form of a universal greeting. A structured pattern saying, "We are here." Cities in the twilight. Equally fascinating was the location of the lights. They were concentrated along the terminator line, the thin twilight band between the planet's eternal day side and its frozen night side. Like many planets orbiting red dwarfs, Proxima b is tidally locked. One hemisphere scorched by constant daylight, the other shrouded in perpetual darkness. Only the narrow strip in between may offer conditions suitable for liquid water. And it is there, along this fragile band of balance, that the lights shimmer. A possible ring of civilization, cities stretching across the twilight zone, clinging to the only habitable edge of the planet. What kind of civilization? The implications are staggering. The stability of the lights and signals suggests a society that has endured, not for decades, but perhaps for millennia. Their energy networks remain unwavering, unaffected by catastrophe. Their atmosphere does not collapse under the weight of reckless industry. On Earth, civilizations rise and fall, often leaving scars on their environment. Wars, resource depletion, and climate crises have repeatedly threatened our progress. But what we are witnessing on Proxima b suggests something very different. A civilization capable of surviving the challenges that often destroy emerging societies. This invites a haunting question. How old are they? Are we looking at a young species, only slightly ahead of us on the path of discovery? Or are these the descendants of a civilization thousands, or even millions, of years our senior, with a history so vast we can scarcely imagine it? Perhaps they have already passed through their age of turmoil. Perhaps they faced their own environmental crises, their own conflicts, their own struggles for survival, and emerged stronger, wiser, more unified. If so, they may not just be advanced in technology. They may be advanced in wisdom. And that, more than any machine, is what defines the endurance of a species. The silence of intent, and yet, despite all that we see, they remain silent. No signals directed toward Earth. No spacecraft arriving in our skies. No clear invitation to communicate. Why? Perhaps their silence is not neglect but intentional caution. They may understand what we only dimly grasp, the dangers of revealing oneself too quickly to a younger, unpredictable civilization. They may have learned through their own history that patience is the greatest safeguard. Another possibility is that they are watching us. Quietly. Waiting to see if we can move beyond our divisions, beyond our conflicts, and prove ourselves ready for true contact. To them, we may be in our adolescence, curious, brilliant, but not yet responsible enough to join a greater community of civilizations. Or perhaps, in their eyes, the act of silence is not absence but restraint, a form of respect. By remaining quiet, they leave us space to grow, to question, and to reach for them in our own time. It is possible that we are not the first to notice them, but rather the first to truly wonder what their silence means. Humanity's next step. This discovery has ignited a new wave of imagination and ambition. For decades, interstellar travel has lived only in the pages of science fiction. But now, the possibility of another civilization within reach, just 4.2 light-years away, has transformed dreams into plans. Projects once considered impossible are returning to the table. Solar sail probes, driven by beams of light, capable of reaching nearby stars in a single human lifetime. Nuclear fusion engines, harnessing the power of the stars themselves to carry us across interstellar space. Even antimatter propulsion, still experimental, but offering speeds that could bring Proxima b within our grasp. And with these missions comes another idea, one not of conquest but of connection. Scientists propose sending archives of humanity's essence, music, literature, art, genetic blueprints, a cultural message in a bottle cast into the void. Not a declaration of power, but a gesture of curiosity and kinship. The hope is simple, yet profound. That someday, across the gulf of darkness, we might stand face to face with another intelligence. A cosmic awakening. Even if that day never arrives, even if we never hear their voice, never see their world with our own eyes, this discovery has already changed us. Because it proves that the universe is not silent. It is alive with possibility. For the first time, humanity may be witnessing the glow of another civilization. A signal that life does not simply survive, it thrives, it builds, it endures. This is more than a scientific revelation. It is a turning point in the story of humanity. It reframes our existence not as a lonely accident in the dark, but as part of a greater constellation of life, A cosmic network waiting to be discovered. As we look upward now, we do not look with fear. We look with awe, with wonder, and with the humility of knowing we may not be the first, or the greatest, explorers of the stars. And perhaps, beneath another sky, another species is doing the same. Looking upward, asking the same question we have whispered for generations: are we alone? The answer may already be shimmering, steady and deliberate, from the twilight edge of a world just 4.2 light-years away.